What's going on, guys? Today, we're going to discuss what's the third highest selling what is the third best TCG? Now, obviously we know it's either Yu-Gi-Oh or One Piece, right? And today I'm going to make the case why I think One Piece is number 3 and Yu-Gi-Oh is no longer number 3. And if the data points that Yu-Gi-Oh is number 3, I think that it shortly won't be. And I think by 2026, One Piece will be number 3. Now, first things I want to kind of talk about. When we talk about the number 3, I just want to make it very clear that, like, the gap between 1 and 2 and 3, it's monstrous, right? It's like you shouldn't even actually it's like these two, and then it's like 5 more spots of Pokemon and Magic, and then it's like an actual, you know what I mean? So I just want to also stress that this third spot, it's not even close to these two. And to be completely honest, even number 2 Magic, it's not even close to Pokemon. I mean, it is, but it's not. So I don't want people to think that, like, this is even a question. This is just straight up facts. This is literally the number 1 IP of any entertainment IP in the world. There, as I throw my pen. It's just not even close, right? Second thing, which here's where I'm going to make my first little controversial point. I think the IP, just the actual intellectual property, the name, One Piece, I think that IP is better than the Magic IP. Now, obviously, when it comes to Lord of the Rings, Fallout, Final Fantasy, that's the good Magic sets, right? But in my opinion, One Piece, if I can spell, here's the one thing that started. They got a TV show. I yell at Flesh and Blood. I've even yelled about it, about Magic. And if you want my opinion, it's what made Yu-Gi-Oh even a thing back in the day. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh wouldn't exist without the anime. I think the One Piece intellectual property is in a very good spot right now. To give you an idea, I know old people who watch the One Piece show. They didn't even know it was based off of that. I just think the actual intellectual property, it's a well-established thing. And to be completely honest with you, that's basically my biggest kind of, like, if I was making a pros and a cons or some sort of, weighted scale chart kind of thing, the IP of One Piece, it weighs so heavily in its favor for me, in my opinion. And I personally think that's why it has been able to outpass Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, in my opinion, the only thing that's really holding Yu-Gi-Oh! On is, like, nostalgia. I don't see it really capturing a bunch of newer audience. I have other thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I'll keep them to myself. We can get that. Maybe I'll make, like, a members video where I just go, like, mask off with Yu-Gi-Oh! But in my personal opinion, what are we at? 3-4 years? I think come 2026, if One Piece can survive the league, this is, in my mind, this is the ultimatum right here, guys. How does the how does the League of Legends TCG do? If the League of Legends TCG ends up being phenomenal, if the artwork and how they sell the product, if it's phenomenal, there's a very high chance. I mean, it would have to be perfect. The only reason I think that the League of Legends TCG could work is because, like, extremely competitive people play League of Legends. So, and I think Riot's good at game design, even though Riot may not even have their hands on, I don't know, right? It has the potential. But I mean, we still have games like Dragon Ball and stuff and Digimon, and they don't. So, but in my opinion, this is what it comes down to. If One Piece can stay in number 3, and you don't see a lot of, because I'll admit this, right? The problem is these two, there's really no competition for them. But then when you get in your 3rd spot, you start competing with Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball, Flesh and Blood, Digimon, whatever these other games are, right? It's there's a lot more money, kind of like right, like in Pokemon, it's got its chunk of money, right? Like let's say there's $1 billion. It's probably what's trillions. I know it's like hundreds of billion, right? Let's say there's $1 billion of secondary market. I know it's more. I'm just trying to make the numbers easy, right? Let's say it's $1 billion. So all this 1 billion is dedicated to Pokemon. And then let's say Magic is, I don't know, it's 650 million, right? And all of that cash is specifically going to Magic. Now let's say that there's like, I don't know, 500 million in total cash kind of sloshing around, right? But it's not just sloshing around in One Piece. It's sloshing around in all these others, right? So, you know, you got maybe 100 mil for One Piece, 100 mil for Yu-Gi-Oh, 100, right? So when you keep adding more, you got the Star Wars, you got Sorcery. So when the League of Legends one comes out, I am a little worried that it's going to kind of, again, pull from this total, like, basically cash that maybe people would have been doing risky bisky weird stuff with One Piece. They're not going to be doing that with League of Legends. So that's my one caveat to all of this. League of Legends, I believe, comes out, I don't know, in a couple weeks. It's pretty soon, right? And that'll be the main. If that game is just, if it just blows up and just takes off, I think it could. I don't want to say damn, it's not really gonna have a huge effect on like the amount of people playing League of Legends. But I've been seeing a lot of investor money coming into One Piece lately, and I think it's because it's been able to withstand the test of time. So, I think if League of Legends Riftbound, if it does really well, we could see some of that investor money leave One Piece and go to League of Legends. My last few kind of points I'll make, guys. Going to conventions, going to LGSs, I'm seeing a lot more people vending One Piece, and I'm seeing a lot more people playing One Piece at shows than I am Yu-Gi-Oh. Didn't see a lot of people selling Yu-Gi-Oh at the card conventions, and I mean, like every now and then again you'll see people playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the stores, right? But I do think ever since One Piece came out, I think it kind of they're similar enough to where I think One Piece has taken up a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh pie. Let me know what you guys think. What do I know, right? Again, in my opinion, the only reason I'm kind of really talking about One Piece right now is because obviously the market, there's not a lot of, like, obviously there's stuff to just kind of pick up and sit on, but I'm kind of looking for the plays, the moves, right? And I can tell you right now, there's a lot of One Piece kind of singles, and there's a lot of going on in One Piece. So I just want to like let everyone know that that's going on, and not a whole lot. I'll make another Flesh and Blood video soon, but I'm 2026 will be the determined, right? If everything doesn't collapse in 2026, I think we're looking good. But what do I know? Have a good one, guys.